Ukraine's president says Russia is readying its forces for a large-scale attack on Ukraine's infrastructure. In his latest video address, Volodymyr Zelensky said he believed Moscow would focus on Ukraine's energy sector first. Estimates suggest 40% of Ukraine's energy system has been damaged or destroyed in Russian attacks targeting vital infrastructure.
Станом на цей вечір у Києві та 6 областях продовжується.
As of this evening, stabilization blackouts continue in Kyiv and 6 regions. More than 4.5 million consumers are without electricity. Most of them are now in Kyiv and the Kyiv region. It's really difficult. During the week, I had several special meetings with government officials, representatives of energy companies and regional administrations regarding probable scenarios in the energy sector. We consider each scenario in detail and prepare appropriate action. No matter what the terrorists want, no matter what they try to achieve, we must endure this winter and be even stronger in the spring than we are now. Be even more ready for the liberation of our entire territory than now.
Well, let's go to Kyiv and talk to the BBC's Catherine Biarahanga. Catherine, it's clear, even looking at you, that the seasons are changing around you. It's getting colder and colder in Ukraine. How are Ukrainians preparing for what could be to come, and what's happening already?
Yes, it's drizzling here in Kyiv. You can see there's been a bit of fog behind me over the last few days, and it's certainly getting colder. And what we're hearing from the company that manages the national power grid is that there has to be a 30% drop in energy consumption today in the country because there has been so much damage to Ukraine's power infrastructure. What we're hearing from President Zelensky is that he says there's a concentration of Russian forces who he believes are now gearing up to continue attacks on Ukraine's power infrastructure. And we've seen the impact across the country in numerous regions, even regions that aren't on the front lines. People there have had to endure colder, darker days because they just can't get access to energy. But we're also hearing reports from Kherson in the south. Now, this is a city that's under Russian control. There are Ukrainian forces, Russian forces surrounding the city. There's a build-up to potentially a big battle there. And what we're hearing from Ukrainian and Russian authorities is that they're accusing each other of attacking the power lines around Kherson. And what witnesses, people living in the city at the moment, are telling us is there have been days of power blackouts. So this is a problem across Ukraine as this country goes deeper into the winter season.
And is the thinking, as Ukraine says, that Russia is making these deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure because its forces are failing to progress on the various front lines?
Yes, we've heard it from the Russian authorities themselves in their updates to the nation. They do talk about attacking power infrastructure. But also remember the fact that this would go against Geneva Conventions. You're not allowed to target civilian objects. So that really raises a lot of international questions. For the Ukrainians, they say that this has been a last resort for Putin and Russia by attacking the civilian infrastructure. They say they're trying to break the will of Ukrainians to essentially freeze them at this moment and then maybe push them towards surrender.
Catherine, thank you for now. Catherine Biarahanga there in Kyiv.